It is 7 PM on Tuesday, August 25th, 2020,
I can't hear you.
and we are going to open the administrative board meeting.
Oh.
You roll call, please.
Yep, trustees Chris Samples,
Yeah, I'm here.
John Talbot,
Here.
William Luxinger is absent, Dina Simpson,
Here.
Jen Christensen,
Here.
Jared Dowd,
Here.
President Rick Werns,
Here.
Treasurer Brenda Onavini is absent, I Clerk Sandy Mize am here, and Public Works Supervisor Brett Berge.
Here. We need a motion for William to attend remotely.
I'll make a,
There we go.
I'll make a motion to allow William, to, attend remotely.
Due to work.
Due to
Due to
work.
I'll second.
Dina makes a motion for William to attend remotely due to work. Jen seconds. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, say no.
No.
Motion passes 702.
William?
I'm here.
Alright.
You read the items on the consent agenda.
Yep, tonight for approval on the consent agenda is item number 1, the July 28th, 2020 Administrative Board Minutes. Item number 2 is the bills payable warrant list dated August 25th, 2020. Number 3 is resolution number 20-55, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of local coronavirus urgent remediation emergency support program financial support conditions and certifications. Number 4 is resolution number 20-56, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of standard commercial security agreement with Rockford Tech Systems. And number 5 is resolution number 20-57, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of proposal from Procom Systems, Inc. for updating of the door fob system.
At this time, do any of the trustees wish to remove any of the items from the consent agenda for further discussion? If not, we'll entertain the first motion.
I move to place agenda items 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 inclusively as consent agenda items. Further, I move that all items be considered together as a consent agenda.
Second. Jen makes a motion to include items 1 through 5 inclusively as a consent agenda. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jared?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Dina?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
William?
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Second motion.
I move to adopt items 1 through 5 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second. Jen makes a motion to place items 1 through 5 inclusively, I forgot the words,
Consent agenda?
as a consent agenda. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
John? Yes. Dina?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes.
William?
Yes.
Jen?
Yes.
Jared?
Yes. Both motions passed at 7:04. We don't need item C. We'll move on to the reports of the officers. So for me, I follow up from what I wasn't here last week. I apologize for not being here. I would have been here 20 minutes later, so, and didn't want to disrupt the meeting, so I didn't come. But I had to follow up with the sheriff about the quads. He said that everybody's having this problem. It's not just us. It's everywhere. And probably very soon we'll see the county taking action on it, where they're going to allow them on the county streets. They're working with the townships now. And Rochelle just passed something last night to the effect of allowing, I don't know if it was everything or just ATVs. It was ATVs, UTVs, golf carts.
ATVs and golf carts.
ATVs and golf carts.
Is that Rochelle or the county or both?
City of Rochelle.
That was Rochelle last night. So, being that's the direction most people are going, it's something we probably need to look at what we're gonna do. Did, during the conversation with him, bring up the law enforcement, police protection here again. I guess what I was told by previous administrations might not necessarily be the case. He is very open to talking about protection, doesn't care if the money goes into the general fund, as long as all the numbers add up at the end, he doesn't care. So that is a conversation we will be pursuing, with the sheriff. We did discuss, you know, that if a deputy's here in the village, working for the Village of Davis Junction, and there is like a call in Monroe Center for something that happened, they would probably send that deputy there just to secure the scene, to make sure it's safe until the assigned deputy arrived, and that way that deputy wouldn't be writing reports on our time, it'd be on county's deputy doing it.
So just for clarification for those watching the video, when you say open to that, you mean the possibility of the Village of Davis Junction buying back the overtime and essentially hiring an Oldham County?
They would actually work as a Village of Davis Junction Police
Yeah.
Department.
But it
it'd
would
be contractual.
through the Ogle County?
Right, it would be through Ogle County. So the police chief would still be the sheriff. We would just have officers that worked here, that would work under the Village of Davis Junction to, and at that point, being contractual, they could enforce our ordinances.
Perfect.
So, we have much more to discuss now with the fact that a lot of people are going to the route of approving these things, but they are licensing them and requiring insurance. So, it's gonna be more thought at the committee level. We probably need to put it back on the agenda on the committee level.
For revenue too,
What's that?
for revenue for us.
It is, the one thing I see, and I'd like to know how Rochelle is addressing this, is how do they identify the units? You know, if you've got somebody who is licensed, who has done everything they need to do, prove they have insurance, and taking the time to go to the city of Rochelle and get their permit to use them, and then you see one off in a water retention area somewhere tearing up the facade, how do you know whether that person is or not licensed?
They'll have to be 16 or
Don't
they'll
know.
have to have a driver's license?
Well, they still have to follow the rules of the road and all the stuff that goes along with that. I don't know. I wanna find out more about what Rochelle passed, see what their thoughts are, see what the county is looking at. You know, we can put some thought into this before we just go either direction. So that's my update from the sheriff. Yeah, I have nothing, so Sandy?
So as you can see, Brenda's off this week. I will be gone next week with limited to no phone or email access. So if you need something either on the committee or the regular board meeting, I need to know Friday by 10 a.m. because I'm gonna post both agendas this Friday so that that's completed. Board packets won't go out until the Sunday before the regular board meeting for that meeting, and then committee packets will still go out like normal on Friday. So there will be a little hiccup in what's going on, but if you guys need anything approved around the regular board agenda, just let me know before Friday at 10 a.m., please. And then Brenda will be back next week, and she'll be holding down the fort in my absence. And Brenda's gonna clerk next week. That's all I have.
We won't even ask Brenda then, 'cause she's not here. Move on to committees, community development events.
All I have is the farmer's market is back tomorrow night. It's gonna be a hot one.
Mhm.
Yes.
we got another new, produce vendor coming out for the first time tomorrow night, so good to see what they have available. And that's all I have.
I don't know if you followed anything on the community page, but there's a push for Weekend in the Park again. We'll see how far it goes, but, I would love to see Weekend in the Park return. It shut down years ago, but it'd be fun to see come back. I think it was something that helped bring the village together. We always had a liaison from the board, had to be on there with them, because of the way they were structured. They're trying to get the 501c3 from the past committee, if it's still, solvent. But they're working on that. Finance,
Nothing.
ordinance enforcement,
Nothing.
parks, streets and ditches.
I find this kind of unfair that you guys never have anything.
It's usually parks and streets,
We should
or
delegate.
utilities and streets,
We
so.
need to delegate.
I talk every week.
I didn't mean you, I'm
Giddy up,
three
Chris,
of them.
giddy up.
Oh, Dina does, but she just comes in with big hitters and then leaves.
I know. Mine's for the shock effect.
Yeah.
All right, well, did everybody read the concrete quotes that I asked,
And
Sandy to add.
those are the ones we talked about last week,
Yes,
right? Okay.
yes. So the one that we were gonna go with it was N-Trax, because it was cheaper, considerably cheaper, $2,000+. So, I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 20-58, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of bid proposal from N-Trax Group for concrete ditch work on Red Fox Drive,
Second.
In the amount of,
Amount of,
$12,430.
Second.
all right, so Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 20-58, approving the concrete bid from N-Track Group in the amount of $12,430. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? I like when we have our discussion at the committee level. Roll call, please.
Dina,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
No.
Jen,
yes.
Jared,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Motion passes at 7:12.
I'm not sure about the fob. How did I get the fob?
That's the fuel fob, because really I didn't decide if it was for Dina or for you, so I just stuck it under you.
Hey, thanks, I do
Well,
appreciate that.
It's usually Parks and Streets that split most of it.
It's all three.
Yeah, but utilities doesn't use that much.
Yeah, I don't care, it doesn't matter. Which one are we taking, which one are we going with, the Stenstrom
Either one.
proposal for
Mhm.
16,220, is that what I'm getting?
You look in the board packet,
I'm looking at it.
the one attached to the resolution, and the one we don't want is crossed off.
It doesn't really help me. Is this from Stenstrom? Is that what you're saying? All right, thanks.
Yeah, it's the second option, the first one's crossed off, I don't know what the dollar amount is.
I-
off the top of
I'll
my
bring
head.
it up.
I don't know, I see three of them. I
No,
see
that-
scenario one,
no,
scenario two.
No,
Here.
so what you're looking at is that all of the proposals are in there, and then attached to the resolution is the one that Fergie had
The
recommended.
scenario one's crossed off,
Yeah.
scenario two is the one.
Yeah.
So the 15,000?
Yep.
Oh, how come mine doesn't crossed off on here? What the heck?
Keep going, you're still in the quote.
Oh, all right. 59, there we go.
Well, that's not even it, I went too far.
So I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 20-59, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of a proposal from Stenstrom for updating the fuel fob system for $15,885.
Second.
Can you repeat the price, Rick?
$15,885.
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 20-59, approving the proposal from Stenstrom to update the fuel fobs in the amount of $15,885. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion?
I just had one question. Is this the, when we talked about this last week or whatever, and there was lots of discussion about it, but is this the one also that Brenda said would help her with knowing where everything goes? Was that like somebody else had something that was a benefit other than just that? Was there something else that was a benefit of needing a fob to do this, or for everybody to have their own? Was there something I don't remember in
Don't
that
they have to
conversation?
input the number or something?
I think they track their mileage off of it, don't they? When they go to fuel up.
I think it'll integrate better than what we have now.
Yeah, I don't think we really are concerned about mileage. It's
Yeah,
always
no,
just been gallons, the driver,
Right.
who's getting what fuel, what day and time.
But what we have is obsolete and...
And what we have is,
But for me, it's good fraud prevention. You know, you could just stick a meter on there and then people report it, self-reporting. But, you know,
Yeah.
if you look at our audit, to me, it would be part of the fraud prevention.
Okay.
I know it's a lot of money, it is.
And that's why I wanted to ask.
That's
Right,
why
and
we put it in
and
the
I
first place.
personally don't like to spend it, but it'll last for a long time, I assume. you know,
I'm
10
assuming,
years plus.
because, like Chris said, the other extreme to this is, I mean, we're Davis Junction, we're small. We could put a padlock on the pump, we could put a kill switch in the shop, so at the end of the day, you shut the lights off, you shut the power off to the pump, and you have to get into the shop to do that. I mean,
Right.
there are other options, but like Chris said, you know,
I
if
think
if
you're
you
on-
want all the
Yeah.
details,
No,
this
No,
is the way to go.
This is good fraud
This
prevention.
is the way to go,
Okay.
so.
No, I think when we look at, when we just got
Okay.
questioned about fraud
That's what I need to
prevention
know.
from our
Yep.
auditors, so this would be a very good thing to follow up
Yep.
on.
And we're already doing it, so
Okay.
might as well
All right,
continue.
second is still on the table. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
Chris,
Yes.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
Don,
Yes.
Dina.
Yes,
Motion passes 7-16.
All right, so the only other thing I have is that, it looks like we finished paving Pacific, right? So that'll be, when will they take down the barricades, yeah? Okay, thanks.
I'm not sure, they've gotta come in and finish the restoration, so they probably don't want anybody driving off the edge and
But I
rolling the
assume within
asphalt.
a few,
I would
a
hope,
week max.
yeah, I need to talk to Kelsey Excavating, I would hope by the end of the week.
all right,
So, I know their schedule's like everybody else, it's very hectic as well, so,
and
but,
then,
yes.
the project, in the Ogle Crossings, retainage area, water retention pond area is started, and they've already actually put down the concrete in.
All that's left is the restoration, concrete's done.
All right. Are they still pumping water?
I'm sure they're still bypass pumping for a little while.
All right.
Yeah.
In a couple weeks, we should start our major project for, the Autumn Wolf Drive extension, and then the drainage out past the old wastewater treatment plant.
Correct.
Other than that, do you have anything? Nothing.
I don't think so. We will be crack filling again, we just scheduled our trailer for the beginning of October. So that should be rolling in, plan to have that for several weeks, so.
All right, one more time, because apparently I can't remember. When are they gonna do any of the microsurfacing?
They should be
Really?
here possibly next week to do the punch list micro.
All right, so,
You will see a pile in Pheasant Court, they're gonna stage their materials up there.
well, I just want the public to know that in the next week or two or
Yes.
three.
Yes, hopefully next week even,
Yeah,
hopefully.
and there's a possibility that, you might be inconvenienced by some microsurfacing repairs that, from our punch list from the Ogle Crossings and the other microsurfacing that we did last year. They're coming back to touch up some areas, so there might be some.
Yes, they would like to be hopefully done in 2 days or less, so
Well,
that's
that
their,
would be
that's
great.
their hopes,
We
depending
hope
on
that
weather.
too. Other than that, that's all for, streets and ditches.
All right, utilities.
I have on there, possible approval of a resolution for the repair, and I always say this, is it Flaggett's pump? Is it C
Flight.
silent?
Flight.
Yeah,
Flight.
and so it's for the repair for the pump, and I don't know if you've looked at it or not, but I'll make a motion, you guys can discuss it if you like. So I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution number 20-60, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of quotation from Mississippi Valley Pump Incorporated for repair of the flight pump in the amount of $7,815.
Second.
All right, so Dina Mokes, 7,815.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Dina makes a motion to approve the repair from Mississippi Valley Pump, repair of the flight pump in the amount of $7,815. Jared seconds. Is there any discussion? Roll call, please.
William,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Jared,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Dina,
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion passes 720. Do we have any idea how old that pump was?
I don't.
No, I don't have the age, but, if I may, Dina, I don't wanna interrupt if
You
you have
may.
something. Thank you. Going along with this, we did have Frinks out, if everyone remembers, we approved that dollar amount, and I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was a dollar amount or not to exceed, for Frinks to come in and pump out that wet well. We did that last week. It actually went fairly well. No pun intended there. So there was a decent amount of grit down in there, so, after that was done, we had, MVP had one of our pumps already. They brought the last one that we approved for them to repair, they brought that, with the new hardened impeller and everything. We dropped that in the hole, we pulled the next bad one out, they took that with them, that's where you got that price, they evaluated it, just like they do, we've done several of these. So now they'll fix that, bring that back, and I think we have one more to pull, and then all of them have been gone through, all of them have hardened impellers, the way they should have been from day one,
They're,
and the wet well has been cleaned.
Good, that's
So,
awesome.
they're probably the original Zinnerfo 9.
I wouldn't doubt it, yes, yes.
White makes a phenomenal pump. We've seen them
Yes,
14 years.
yes. So,
Pacific Avenue, they were 14 years when the first one failed.
yep. So we're in a good spot there now,
Awesome,
so,
thank you.
thank you,
They're expensive, but they're a good investment.
yes.
Anything further, Dina?
Not that I'm aware.
All right, does anybody have anything on economic development? I've heard nothing from the grocery store man.
Go figure.
We gotta back up the utilities, sorry,
Well,
we do.
okay.
We are going to have to request a temporary easement from a landowner for the for the water tower project. Been some questions about where we laid the hoses. I got the pictures today, I had them go up and mark the land. I'll bring the pictures up here. This is kind of an afterthought. We thought that the hydrant would be in the right of way and that it was kind of the dividing line of the properties. That was interesting. It just went away. Come back. I think
Really? Who owns the land?
Justin Maas.
You'll take $1, won't you?
Justin Maas, the landowner.
I'm sorry,
So-
will he take $1?
Had them mark the line, had them find the pins and actually mark the line. So we're 4 or 5 feet on the property line. The other one, and again, we thought we were going to be within the easement and the right-of-way, or in the property and the right-of-way, but obviously we weren't. So this was an oversight. So there's let's see if I can blow this up. So you can see where the property line comes to the hydrant. So we do have the north-south hose is actually lying within their property, right here. And these are extending over their property to get to the right-of-way or to get to our property. So we're gonna have to reach out to them for a temporary easement.
Just out of curiosity, if,
Getting water.
do fire trucks then get right-of-ways to come put out a, I don't really get that.
Well, there may be a utility easement there because of the water main being on that side, so we don't know if we actually need it, 'cause it would be another 10 feet beyond that property line.
That is the mark of the utility easement.
No, it's not.
That's the mark of the right-of-way.
That is the right of way. There's 10 foot beyond that. 'Cause I'm the one that spoke with the surveyor and had him lay it out.
And that's what I asked for, was
I asked for right of way line.
No, I would think
That
that,
differs from when you guys tore up the.
I don't know how we'd ever put a fire hydrant in a place that
The
wasn't
lath in front of
accessible
the
to
house.
the fire
or right of way
department.
line.
That seems kinda weird.
So let me get the other one back up again. If there is, I mean, this is what we asked them to mark the right-of-way.
Yes, those are right of way stakes.
So if there is a utility easement there, we are within that with the exception of that one hose going north and south.
Can I make a comment on this? I've tried to stay out of this because Justin Maas is the property owner. I have no interest in the property. But the other dilemma is there's a semi parked behind that, which in order to unload will come close, if not onto the property as well.
They'll have to move it.
Depends on which side of the semi that the trailer they unload from, and I've already instructed them to unload from the village side.
And that's fine.
Yeah,
That's very concerned.
I made a point to have to tell them to make sure we do not cross that ribbon line north to south. That way they stay there, so.
So you're saying this hose, because it extends out here, then falls onto,
It does.
his property, why don't they?
Let me bring it up on that view.
I
What
keep
happened?
disappearing.
Sorry. Here, this is the view
Yeah.
looking.
So why don't we just move it like the other ones are? You can't just move it over?
No, I don't have enough
There's not
length in
enough
that hose to
there.
do
That'd
that,
shut down the whole
Are they
thing.
making a stink about it?
so I can't. I've moved them over about 2 feet.
He's been very
And that's
polite about it.
without kinking the hoses or having to reroute, which I can't do. The company would have to come back from Missouri to do it. What you see is pretty much what you get right now.
Gotcha.
So, due to an oversight of not knowing where this actually sat,
Well, and the fact that we've never done this before,
right,
so.
so we'll reach out to the owner and see if he can give us a temporary easement that we can maintain this lawn care during that time frame for the 6 to 8 weeks. But we should be able to load everything off the other side of that truck, 'cause I mean, there's no asphalt over here. The forklift should be able to pull everything up, they should be able to move the trailer if they need to.
Yep.
So, I think the only concern is that we have, and maybe whatever this little hose is,
That's part of our transducer.
okay, so, couple hoses laying there, we're gonna have to try and get a right away from.
If you're asking for a temporary easement, you might as well ask for it for the whole length of that side, so that if something happens and you have to unload from the other side, that's not a problem either. That's-
Doodle that up.
Doodle.
I don't know what level of involvement you want in me on this, because that is,
Conflict of interest?
it's not necessarily a conflict of interest, because I don't have any rights in that property,
But,
but I do live there.
And you're married to him.
well, beyond that, there should be no different than any other easement we've asked for. So,
And usually Willett Hoffman creates those, so if you wanna just,
I don't have anything to do, you would have to contact, I don't do anything
I'll
with
get ahold of
permits,
okay,
so I don't even know
That
how
way I
to
can
start
keep
with
you out of it.
permits.
yeah, I would
Oh,
like
the
to stay out of
easement,
it.
Willett Hoffman normally does those.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do,
like
they
I said.
usually create
Yeah.
them for us.
It's usually between the
Right.
village clerk and the engineer how permits get done, I don't
Oh.
normally have anything to do with them,
Keep
so.
calling it a permit, it's not a permit.
No, actually, just so you know, and Chris is dealing with this right now, typically with Willett Hoffman on temporary construction easements, I have zero things to do with them until they come to me for a resolution. I don't deal with the creation of them, the signing of them,
How
the
do they know we
notarying
need
of
'em?
them. Huh?
How do they know we need them?
Well, on most
Willett
construction projects,
Hoffman
they know.
usually knows on the construction
Oh,
projects that
okay.
they need it.
I'll get ahold of Matt tomorrow, let him know we
Okay,
missed
just
one.
like-
I'm surprised they didn't think about that on this one, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Well,
Telling us
w-
what's needed.
now we know without a doubt, based on surveyors locating where everything is, where everything is. Maybe there's a doubt?
No, I just had a question regarding this, that
Raise
since
your
this-
hand, I was like.
No,
uh-oh.
sorry, no, that's not what I meant. This brings up a good point then, since we've started discussing this, we found this issue out. We have several areas in the subdivision, well, quite a few areas in the subdivision, actually. So I know for future, when we start working on them, I have several hydrants that I need to work on. That I may have to dig around or whatever. So if I go to replace that hydrant, do I need a temporary construction easement to replace that hydrant?
We'll find that out tomorrow.
Okay, just so I know
I'll
for
make sure
future,
we
if it's-
ask Will Hoffman.
But in
If it's a
reality,
utility
you
easement, we
shouldn't
should.
have to, yeah.
I don't know, that's why I'm asking, because this came up, because
It's very similar to.
it's a village project, so is me replacing a hydrant, it's a village
It's
project.
very similar to the stuff that's constructed within
Yeah.
the utility easement.
Yeah.
We go through it, we don't put it back.
Yeah, so like I said, I just need to know.
'Cause
so
the
what-
water
So
is
that way there's a
village.
process in
Right.
place from here,
Yep.
so that's all I'm looking for.
So, no, the conversation has all been very pleasant, it's just, obviously an oversight, so we'll get it taken care of. All right, so back to the public.
I have one thing as public,
I
sorry.
do too.
I have something as non-public,
Oh.
Oh, you'll come afterwards then,
okay,
before adjournment.
You go first.
No, mine was, I got the card for the water,
yeah.
you know, which was all good, but except for that, you know, we didn't say anything about maybe limiting water use.
The cards had been printed when that thought process occurred,
Okay.
and so, 660 cards later, I kinda told Briggy that wasn't an option anymore.
No, I suppose it's past time by then.
Yeah.
I was just wondering, you know,
It's a sale.
if we've let people know, because,
I
you know, I know it doesn't start till the 31st,
I
but
think
there's,
there was something on our website, I'm unsure.
you know, I see quite a few people, well, you know, watering their lawn, and I don't know if it can keep up or not, I just,
I'm looking forward to not
Yeah.
knowing.
We have no idea, yeah.
but not mowing, mine looks like it's been rolled out and dyed gray,
It's dormant, I love it.
brown, or whatever else.
Well, an interesting piece of it
I like
is,
when
and
my
we've done
gas
all
grass
that-
goes dormant.
Years ago, when we did all the, newsletters ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and we did the research on the watering and what, and everybody's still gonna water when they feel traditionally they should water, but a lot of the watering that's being done and the times that they do it are absolutely
You ain't
doing
gonna
nothing
bring,
for their lawn because
Right.
it's
Oh,
the
yeah.
wrong time, and
Sure, in
and
the
I
middle of the
can't-
day, in the middle of the heat.
I can only share that so many times that it's
Yep.
pointless to share, so I really hope that people.
Well, I just don't know.
Didn't
you can't bring
people,
it back when it's.
not only the time
Well,
of
it's
the day
not
they do it,
dead.
but the
thing is,
quantity.
it's dormant,
Dormant,
it's
it's
not
just
dead.
dormant. It's-
Yeah.
My only concern is that we have enough water for what people actually need to use, and I don't know if it's going to be an issue, but, you know, I do see a lot of people watering their grass.
They have started watering, I have noticed in the past few days, there are more and more picking up, yes. Like I said, it's a good thought, unfortunately, it took place a little after but we can still post it on Facebook, we can still put it on the website, not that that's gonna help.
But
Um,
I just want people, especially if they're watching our
Yes,
meeting, to be,
um,
you know, cognizant of the thought that we might
correct.
Well, we do have,
An
the
issue
nice
with
thing is the
water
weather's
pressure.
gonna break in 2 more days, so.
Yeah.
Yes, we're supposed to get some rain, so maybe that will,
Well,
hopefully
I
curb that.
kinda like when my lawn goes dormant, the only thing that grows are the weeds.
I don't care about the lawn, I just
Yeah.
care about if I'm taking a
Yeah.
shower and I don't have enough water 'cause somebody's watering their lawn.
Well, it should never get that
It shouldn't be that
extreme.
bad,
It
yeah,
should
like-
never get that
Alright.
extreme.
And that's the intention of
No.
all the trucks that everybody,
No.
that they've seen, the tanks, I shouldn't say trucks, I should say tanks.
Correct.
But,
And we're good if we have a emergency fire.
I've already
Yeah.
spoke with Todd about that, gave him my quote-unquote recommendations. He is the chief, but, I have spoke with him about that.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, I don't,
We're aware, I'm just saying if something.
unfortunately, I don't have a lot of answers for this because we don't,
never.
we have never done this before, so we're kinda all learning here at the same time.
Go ahead, no.
My
Sorry,
only
no.
question was, and I don't know, it's the ditches that they're working on, Willow Bend and Autumn Wolf, and the reason I'm saying this as a resident is because I live on the corner of both. And we've done it a million times, and by saying we, long before me, that ditch has been done a million times. The only thing I was just gonna ask, do you know if they're gonna, I don't know what, I say shoot a transit, but I'm sure that's the wrong wording. On the Autumn Wolf side, do you know if they're gonna,
Shoot the grade?
yeah, because like, if they laid down everything like they're done, like they always do, every time, you need to go walk the ditch, water does not run uphill. I
Okay.
don't know what to tell you about
All right, well, they is us.
that. Okay,
Yes, and they did. They actually did that with a laser. So I'll have him check it tomorrow and confirm, because today was the first watering, so,
And
they
I
just
don't know,
finished it,
like,
but yes,
And my
yes,
husband, so in all fairness,
yes.
my
I will have them
husband
check grade again.
please don't mention it tonight, so if Tom is listening to this later, he's going to be upset with me.
Nope, that's what I needed. We need that
And
kind of,
so
that's what we
we've
need.
seen it done so many times.
Yes,
And if, and he's like, just wait till it rains, and I'm like, I get it, so like, I'm only asking because if it's all done.
Yep.
And then it needs more,
Yep.
I just want you to like, I could even show you where it's gonna come back, but, because it happens every time.
yes, yes.
Okay.
That was all shot first, and then they came in with our laser and actually did the grade through with the actual laser, but
Okay.
we will absolutely check that again,
I'll show
so,
you what I'm talking about, and then that way you don't have to worry about
nope,
Did we
nope,
put sod in the ditch?
nope,
it. No,
Well, then it might not, you know, depending on how much rain we get, you never know what's gonna
Nope.
happen to it.
We
Well,
did,
yeah,
we didn't
always
sod
do
that. We,
You guys
we,
do pretty good mowing it and everything like that.
yeah,
It's
oh,
all-
yeah.
Yeah.
No, we seeded blanket, so, but I will absolutely have the crew check that, shoot grade again, and
And you holler, like, whatever, that way.
No problem.
I feel bad that everybody keeps having to do it again.
nope,
Yeah.
nope, that's kind of a unique thing is, well, everywhere in the town is because we're so flat. So, grading ditches is a very difficult thing at times because it's just hard to make the water flow when there's just barely any grade, so, but, nope, thank you for bringing that to my attention.
And I totally appreciate them doing that, 'cause like,
Nope.
I thought it had stopped at the top, so I'm thrilled, we're thrilled, 'cause it's
Yep.
really mosquito haven usually when it's not, so I
Mhm.
appreciate that.
We will take care of it.
Okay. And that is all I had to ask.
Anything further from the board members?
I'm
I
not
do have
worried
one
about it.
also. Go ahead.
So this is kind of just some informational learning that I obtained over the last 2 weeks. I had reached out to a municipality that needed, to offer our assistance if they needed some help getting back on their feet. And one of the things I was asked to do was to do their minutes. And I said, no problem. Watching their video, I learned a lot of things that happen in our town too, but we don't think about. And so some of the things I just want to remind you guys about, when we're talking about projects that we previously talked about, we make the assumption that everybody knows what we're talking about already. And so I think it'd be helpful if we start talking about things to make sure that we're saying kind of a reference as to what we did talked about previously, because not everybody follows the chain of the videos, not everybody's following the chain of the minutes, and so that would be helpful. Rick already does this, it's super helpful if only one person talks at a time, and then Rick, also repeats who's made what motion and all of that, so that was great. But there were just, some things like that when you're looking as an outsider in, you realize could be problematic for the public who doesn't know what the topics are that we're talking about. So just be cognizant of that as we continue to move forward. I do know that our, I hate to call them our fan base on the videos is increasing. I'm glad to see that our residents are watching them more often and following up on them. So just, we have to realize that not everybody realizes every week what we're talking about. So, it was,
Point.
I realized watching it that they do the same thing, and I was like, hold on, we do this. So,
Good point.
that's all I had.
All right, so last Thursday I had lunch with Mayor Mike Chamberlain of Belvedere and Mike Dunn from Region One. He's the Executive Director of Region One, Planning Council. They are wanting to start a COG, which is a Council of Governments. It'd basically be like a mini version of, for lack of better things, IML. They would also like to redesign, it would involve redesigning NEMA, the Northern Illinois Mayor's Association. But it would need buy-in from the villages. They would rate, cities and villages, cost based on their size so that they could all afford it. It would be, from the initial numbers they gave me, it would be less than what our individual allowance is here, for us to join, but basically, my math real quick. It sounds fantastic, because they have the ability to help with, like, when we were trying to get water and sewer out 39, they have people that would actually spend time promoting that and trying to get that through for us. They can do our, they can update our comprehensive plan for just the cost of the labor for those people. They have 30 people on staff.
Oh,
So significantly cheaper, and they're also local, so they understand our region a bit better than people out of Chicago.
great.
I would love, I've asked Mike Dunn if he would come to the village when they get a little closer to trying this, to see if, to present it to the board. It sounds phenomenal. That some of the help, but again, we can address those questions later. This is really early baby steps of it, but then it would allow us as a council of governments to put pressure on Springfield, instead of, Davis Junction calling up Springfield and going, hey, we don't like this.
Yeah.
It would be a group of cities and villages and towns getting together and telling them, no, we don't like this. Because we all know we're dominated by one city in this state, so it'd be nice to have a little pressure coming from other places. That might be a little more territory involved. Right now with NEMA, it is a very large area. For the Northern Mayor's Association, there's 110, does that sound right, communities within that area?
Yeah.
So would that be the same
They would
territory that they'd be talking about?
It is, but they would want to break NEMA up into 3 groups, to allow a little more localization, and then twice a year have them meet. But I would really like them to come, when Mike has a little more information, come to the village and present it.
Kind of be,
It sounded fantastic. I mean, again, being able to do a lot more stuff regionally than, because truly, if somebody came and, even Mike Chamberlain he goes, you're a perfect example. What's good for the area is good, what's good for each individual town or city is good for the area. He goes, you live in Davis Junction, you opened a business in Loves Park. He goes, so you doing well helps Loves Park do well. So the whole region can benefit, you're hiring people there. It makes sense. So, and I believe that, something we've tried to do out here with the 72 corridor is to, when the region does better, we think we do better. I think that would also apply even farther out. There are some challenges with larger cities to our north, but they can be overcome. So, just wanted to bring that up. We'll hopefully be able to get Mike done here in the next couple of months when they have a little more information, and present that to the board, because I thought it was phenomenal. All right, anything further from board members?
Motion adjourned.
Second.
Jared makes a motion to adjourn. Chris seconds. Favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. We're adjourned at 7:41.